Love Wolf coming at y'all with a real quick segment. Won't take much time at all. This is kind of a prelude to the video that was 1 minute and 45 seconds that I just uploaded regarding the mask that they wear on the world stage. What you have on screen right here is John Carpenter, legendary John Carpenter, who's made God knows how many movies, but he's made some very, 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 very interesting movies over the years, with one of his most infamous ones being They Live. Now, aside from that, he's done things like the original Halloween. He's done like Escape from New York and all these other different things. But what we're going to talk about in this real quick segment is how they wear a mask. For all you all who did not know, the Michael Myers mask from the original Halloweens, and I'm talking about the original ones, the first two with Jamie Lee Curtis and shit, that mask that Michael Myers was wearing was a mask of William Shatner's face. They called it the Star Trek mask or whatever the case may be, right? But I was trying to find the old video that William Shatner did where he allegedly went to some sort of Halloween party or some sort of masquerade party or wherever the fuck it was supposed to be, and where he went to that party as a mask of himself. Now, for any of you all who know anything about William Shatner, you know that they dress him up and have him looking different all the time. Then this has been throughout his career. Sometimes he looked like the regular William Shatner, sometimes he don't. Sometimes he's heavy set, sometimes he's not. Sometimes his skin is a little bit lighter, sometimes a little bit darker, etc. But he's one of those characters that I'll be talking about on the world stage, because everybody has played William Shatner, not just Michael Myers. Okay? But I just want to play this little clip so you guys can kind of reassess or be able to reaffirm what I'm talking about and be able to go do your own research. Because wearing masks is real. The whole thing about people wearing masks and playing roles, this shit is 1,000% real. Listen to this.
Halloween was to do an exploitation horror film. Then the basic premise was given to me by my distributor, Irwin Yablans. He said, let's do a movie about these babysitters who get stalked by a killer. He figured that everybody could identify with babysitting. So many teenagers had done it. And then a little bit later, he came up with the idea of calling it Halloween. Let's set it on Halloween night and call it Halloween. Never been used as a title before. Never been used at all. It was an underutilized holiday, so great. And I was a young director then, and I was hungry for experience, hungry for features. I had done some work before then. I said, sure, why not? Well, when we were making the film, I thought, gee, it's Halloween at night and people get dressed up in masks. What better way to have a killer not be identified than be wearing a mask? And we didn't have any money to make a mask, so my production designer, Tommy Lee Wallace, went up to a magic shop right here on Hollywood Boulevard and bought a William Shatner Star Trek mask. Captain Kirk mask. Spray painted it, cut the eye holes a little bit different, fixed the hair, and there we go. As I remember it now, maybe it was more, I had about 3 or 4 days to do the score to Halloween, basically record the whole thing. I wanted something deadly simple and something that would just eat at you a little bit. And my father bought me a pair of bongos when I was really young for Christmas.
So the point that I've been trying to make, right, because anybody that followed the Halloween series, right, even if you're young, let's say you're younger than me, you know what I'm saying, and you know more about the newer ones that they've made versus like the old ones from the 70s, because if I'm not mistaken, the first Halloween came out in 78 or 79, if I'm not mistaken. But since that time, throughout all of the Halloween movies they've made, every mask they've ever used has been some sort of replica or representation of William Shatner's face. Now, he pointed out the whole thing about the Star Trek, the Captain Kirk mask. That's what they called it, right? But in reality, it was like, no, it was the T.J. Hooker mask and all the other different joints that he done played in. Because if you look at the mask that they've done within the last 2 Jamie Lee Curtis movies, you know what I'm saying? Remember the last 2 that they did? That they did recently, where the last one was when her daughter got grown and had a daughter, her grandchild, and all sorts of shit, and they got locked in Jamie Lee Curtis' crib, and Jamie Lee Curtis had fortified the crib throughout all them years and all that shit, and they locked him down in the basement, and then, you know, they burnt him up, and then he came out of there, and the other one they made where he killed the firemen and all that other stuff. Each one of those masks is supposed to be like how William Shatner looks today. Now, I personally believe, now it's just my own personal opinion, I personally believe the real William Shatner is dead. I believe he's been dead for quite some time. And when I say the real William Shatner, I'm talking about the episode of The Twilight Zone William Shatner. I'm talking about that motherfucker. He's been dead for a very long time. And motherfuckers are running around here wearing his face like Leatherface, which is something else that I could get into about them showing you how they wear a mask. But, you know, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit was kind of creepy. Even the Toby Hopper one, going back to the 70s and shit, that's some real dark shit. So I'm going to leave that alone. But I just wanted to point that out, man, that the deception, listen, I'm going to end it like this. Y'all been hearing me tell y'all this for the longest, and I'm going to end it like this. Brute force will never, ever, ever be as strong as deception. And that's why they wear the mask, to deceive you. This is the original Lone Wolf. I'm out.